I want to jump, Archer, to your junior season. Again, we all know that's the money year. That's the draft year, if you will. And again, on the field, you had another fantastic year, 92 total tackles, 6 interceptions. And like you said, you led the SEC in picks. Before we get to the draft stuff, because I know there's a lot to get into there,
Yeah.
just overall, again, I know we already talked about your mindset and stuff like that, what clicked, but like, what do you think came together that year? Because again, people talk about turnovers, by the way. I'm curious to get your take on this. I've talked to people, about turnovers as far as, every coach teaches it, every coach preaches it, get the ball off of people. And some people want to argue that it's quote unquote luck, if you will, which I know you'd probably agree as a competitor that luck is when opportunity meets
Right.
preparation, right? That's what
Correct.
luck. But
Correct.
some people will argue that it's being in the right place, right time, whatever. And again, that comes from your preparation, stuff like that. But again, to have that type of season, 6 interceptions, I know a lot more goes into it than just you're in the right place at the right time. You've studied, you've prepared, you've sharpened your skills to that point. Again, your junior season, I mean, you're in the prime of your career. It's your money year. But just talk about that season overall. Again, obviously, you showed out that year.
That season was unreal. How funny, because I end up I remember meeting with Kerry Thorpe at the time, and he had told me that he had a few preseason All-American teams that I was on going into that junior year. I had the preseason first team All-SEC. I ended up getting the year next, the preseason Play Ball American. That was huge back then. Ended up going to Play Ball American that year. So the mindset that I can remember to like it was yesterday. I used to watch the guys at Florida because Steve Spurrier had a winning team. They beat the crap out of us that my freshman year. And I know Fred T and all those guys that got recruited around the same time of those guys. And I remember how it felt to just be flying around the field, and they were all over the place. And I was just like, something I'm not doing right, and I put that pressure on myself to, I can't let Warfel beat me if I'm in the middle of the field. I got to be able to do something. So then that's when I realized that a lot of stuff was timing, a lot of stuff had to do with coverages, and a lot of stuff had to do with anticipating. I had to be able to show one thing, do another. I had to be able to be strong enough to sit in a cover 4 or a too high safety look and be deep enough. I had to understand that the quarterback doesn't know if I'm sitting at 10 or 15 where he's at. So I had to be comfortable to be at 15 or 14 yards deep and not move, slow pedal back. I had to learn the adjustment of sitting at 10 and be aggressive, read and run the pass. So I had to change a lot of things that I knew would make me a better post safety in the SEC. And knowing the fact that 70% of the teams you're going to play are going to run well, but they also throw a lot. So that year just clicked. I mean, I think true story. A scout told me, he said, out of those years, I think at the same time, I think Charles Woodson, one of them, but we have the same amount of picks or something that, like, how crazy. His was the biggest stage on TV, and certain picks, like the one-hand pick he had in the Rose, but I had a one-hand pick in ECU Carolina game. I had 2 picks against Florida. When you pick Florida off twice, you're guaranteeing yourself a first-round pick as a defensive back. And how crazy. I had one at safety and I had one at the nickel back. I was covering up close to as well. And from that, to take away the fact, the mindset of that I had, picks come in rolls. They come in, I always tell kids they come in threes. I've been fortunate to coach the secondary, and the last 3 years we've walked away now a total, I think, 33 interceptions. We had 22 picks, I want to say, in one season, 22 takeaways. It just, I'm a big believer in, if you can become offensive minded on defense, you're going to help a lot of teams win games. We got to be turnover machines. I tell my secondary guys all the time, we have to be able to get the ball back for the offense. And that's the mindset that I live by.
It definitely sounds like you were a student of the game. I mean, that without a doubt. What was watching film? Was that like a big? I'm assuming that was a big thing at that point, right? I mean, was that?
It was, because the good thing about it, we still had the cassette tapes.
Right.
And the scout, like I tell you, the scouting department was key for me.
Right.
At Carolina, I would take the tapes that Bobby Johns had, and he would have them all stuck there, sit up, and I would just take one by one, and third and short, third and long, first and 10, and then I will understand the fact that, okay, well, the coverage that we were running a lot of two high system, and luckily we end up running that when I went to the Dolphins, a two high system, a safety system where the safeties could be interchangeable. And I was blessed to play with Ben Washington, who was fast, and his game was more 10 yards and in. He was a true strong safety. And Brad understood my ability, to be able to run, chase balls, and he just gave me the green light. And I tell a lot of people in college, when you have the ability to have the green light, it makes the world of difference. If you prepare, you can make some plays. You really, really can. So that's the biggest thing I take from being a student of the game and playing then. We didn't have all the things that they have now, but what we did have, we had a lot of cassette tapes, and the scouting department during that time did a really good job of breaking down film for us. And I just took advantage of it,